Another speed person. I hope you guys aren't tired of it. He is known as Impulse. Some would call him Kid Flash, the Flash. His real name is Bartholomew Henry Allen II. He was born in the late 30th century during the Legion of Superheroes. Fun stuff, right? The son of Don Allen, who is the son of Barry Allen, Silver Age Flash, the current and Silver Age Flash actually, and Molini Thawne, daughter of Professor Zoom. Yeah, it's weird. The daughter of Professor Zoom got with the son of Barry Allen. Yeah, I know it's crazy, right? Stuff was going on with his body. For example, he was 2 years old, but he looked physically 12. They needed help, so they had to go to take Bart to the past, which is our present, Wally West, while he was the Flash, one of the fastest beings in the universe, in hopes that he would have a solution. But before I go any farther, shout out to those that have donated to the channel. Appreciate it a lot. I don't want to sound like a broken record. He's a speedster in DC, so he can go casually. The speed of light, obviously, that's actually like considered a benchmark. Actually slow in DC. Most people can go like thousands of times or more times the speed of light in DC. You know what I mean? You get the pattern. Even characters that are not Speed Force users, you know, the typical thing. Speed Force aura he has, speed stealing. He has ridiculous punching power thanks to his raw speed, being able to produce so much velocity and kinetic energy with his punches, stuff like that. Let's not waste any time. He's a Speed Force person. He can vibrate through solid objects. That one time he restarted Jay Garrick's heart. That one time he moved through a large amount of solid stone. He was able to move his hands fast enough to counter absolute zero cold. And of course, he indeed does have speed healing. That one time he increased the water heat. Did you know when water is boiled into steam, the volume increases about 1,600 times, transfers the energy between molecules? I love moments like this when he like literally disassembled a large robot via massive blitz. Titans disassembled. You remember that time he disassembled Deathstroke's gun? Like literally crumbling. Not to mention he stopped a bullet that's already been fired from hitting the Robin. Tim, you got saved. No surprise here, he literally outran a photon cannon, explicitly stated. Nothing but a solid tunnel of light. I mean, he's so fast, he almost accidentally launched himself into space. Another angle of that. I'm nearly space junk in free fall. You know what I mean? I mean, this should be light work for a Flash, but he can cross the entire planet in a matter of moments. You know, the photon cannon, you know. It's that tier. Got to let that beam get close enough, then zip aside the last possible millisecond. He's been speed of light level or even faster than the speed of light for a very long time, even stay tier. Born with the ability to run at speeds far greater than the speed of light, far greater than light. Bart Allen tries to look before he leaves. You know, he's always been this fast. These are all good occasions of combat speed. Being able to disassemble a car while it's riding is a great showing of combat speed. I mean, just think about all the different parts that you'd have to unscrew in a car. Combat speed. I'm gonna do you a favor and just read his origin right out for you, just for some lore. You know, I don't usually do this, but why not? I love you guys. No chemical bath, no lightning. Speed was my inheritance from my grandfather Barry and my father Don. It was in my blood in every cell. My first few years were a blur, literally. At the age of 1, I looked 3. At 2, I looked 10. Doctors told my mom and dad that I'd be an old man by my 3rd birthday. They couldn't stop my metabolism, but they put me in a virtual reality chamber programmed to make me believe I was aging normally. I grew up in a mirage, but I guess it kept me sane. After my parents were killed, Grandma Iris brought me back to this time. Her nephew Wally, the 3rd Flash, used the Speed Force to shock my system. The aging thing slowed to normal, but I still needed a mental guide and train me. Max Mercury had been a hero even longer than Jay, like 150 years longer. He said 150 years wasn't enough time to prepare himself for a kid like me. Look at all that speed right there. I got bored easily, and because of my time in VR, I had no concept of real danger, never thought ahead. It was Max who first dubbed me Impulse. It was time to hit the ground running. Young Justice was my rookie team. Hard to go wrong with Superboy and Robin in the lineup. The Teen Titans put me in big leagues, but doing that much good in the world also makes you a target. Having my knee shattered by Deathstroke forced me to slow down for a while. It was long enough to learn everything I didn't know and to decide to become who I was meant to be. But that was then. Now the speed's taking nearly everyone I cared about and wants me to surrender to ride the lightning. I'm juggling fire. I'm mainlining Nitro. Live fast, die young. This is a lethal combination of being this fast and having hand-to-hand combat skills. Even there are certain cases where he, you know, they like to have an excuse to get rid of DC character Speed. He still has training. LA Police Department, Batman's protege, and a complete knowledge of human anatomy courtesy of San Francisco Public Library. Speaking of public library, he has a photographic memory so where he reads stuff at super speed and he retains all the knowledge. He's read all these books. Isn't that insane? He was reading books so fast, even characters like Superboy couldn't see him. Like they was literally invisible. They stated we're statues to him. He's reading books while they're there. He's like literally ignoring them. Too freaking fast. He was even trained as a detective by Tim Drake. Isn't that kind of epic? I mean, heck, he even solved a 5-year-old code case. He's pretty multi-skilled. What's it like to have a Flash character without outrunning the pull of a black hole? I mean, you gotta have feats like this, right? The machine, Headcase constructor, is creating a black hole. I got beyond the pull of the black hole, but Headcase's telekinetic wall is stopping me dead. Faster than light, far faster than light, nothing contradicting it either. Bart Allen is extremely fast like the other speedsters. He might even be faster than other veteran speedsters like Jay Garrett, one could say. Look, he can make like tornadoes by circulating his hands, stuff like that, raw speed. He ran from Alabama to Atlanta, Georgia. Speed, right? We got some more rider intent for you. Raw speed. Impulse and Max Mercury could sprint from the plains of Central Africa to their home in Manchester, Alabama in less than a second. That's a lowball 25 million miles per hour. And that's me calculating it as one whole second. They said less than a second. How many times lower than a second? We don't know. They just said less than a second. For all we know, they could have said 1/100th of a second, knowing them. Shoot, because we already know he's light speed, so this is pretty light work. I mean, the distance between Central Africa to Manchester, Alabama is literally 7,000 miles. They can run that in less than a second? Like, really? Imagine him working for FedEx or like a delivery service. Like, he could deliver stuff real fast, delivering wedding invitations like literally almost instantaneously. Gotta love it. Raw speed. That one time he's able to charge a goon at half the speed of light. Just casual work. He outran Sonic Boom. Because he's too fast. He can phase through bullets like work and blitzes a bunch of soldiers. In the process, having fun, speed blitz style, give me your gun. Night, streak of lightning, phasing through walls, catches, freaking bullets. Cause I'm too fast, save someone from getting shot. Here's a high quality image of earlier. This gun saved Tim Drake from these bullets. He literally confirmed he read the entire library in San Francisco. He stated, Max, did you know I read the entire San Francisco library in like 5 minutes? Is that processing power and combat speed? I think so. This is crucial because he can remember everything he reads in speed mode when other speedsters have trouble doing this. Even veteran speedsters like Barry Allen. Even they're shocked at it because of my Barry Allen video. I even go over this, that Barry Allen get it for a short time just for them to be able to complete the job, like when Barry, made rebuilt the building or something, but he lost it, because they retained in that quick moment. But Bart keeps it. He even stated here, you read it at super speed yesterday and you still remember it? I remember everything I read, don't you? And they're like looking confused, like, whoa. Oh yeah, and by the way, veteran speedsters like Wally West even have trouble remembering what they read at super speed. Speedsters seem to have enhanced durability, being able to run into stuff at ridiculous high velocity. And it states here, its speed force chiseled friction force field surrounding him that protects him from injury. So they, I guess when they're running, they have like this little speed force, or it's kind of the reason why they don't burn up either. It all goes hand in hand, I mean, think about it. His metabolism is so strong, he will break down tranquilizer really fast. Stated right there. The speed force is just lovely, man. It's like a cosmic force. When they're like not in their right minds, it can kind of help them out. Like in the Black Lantern situation, they like connected Black Lantern, Bart, Wally, and Barry to one another. It stated here, I didn't mean what I said. Bart, infection detected. Infection expelled. Is that epic or what? It stated here, focus on Bart here. Remember? He is in there. Barry, Bart tried to vibrate through me and something happened. I think we're still connected to him. The speed force is connecting us. You need to vibrate through him and get him out of there. Like, one could say the speed force is a good way of countering mind control, or when a character is like not in their right mind, or just like a Black Lantern, it all comes in handy. It states here, he's calling me too. Bart, go away. I'm dead. You're not dead, Bart. See what I mean? Speed force bonds them spiritually, I would say. Connection severed. Breaking away the Black Lantern stuff. The infection. They're clean of it. Point blank shotgun to the leg. Ouch. Thanks a lot, Deathstroke. But super speed healing. Thanks to the speed force, he's good. He healed fast, but he didn't necessarily heal correctly. He stayed heals quickly, not correctly. I know I keep going back to this feat, but there's something else that's cool about it. It states here that this gun had a striking energy of 4 tons, and the impulse saved him. Disassembled the gun and everything. Totally wrong high caliber to go hunting with. I read it in a book. Impulse. Don't you love speed healing? His skin even got cleared of a tattoo because of his fast regenerative capabilities. Your metabolism is breaking down the ink. They're so used to phasing, they just kind of do it on instinct, phasing through stuff. A heartbeat ago, Bart ran, barreling towards my living room wall at hyperspeed. He should have hit like a bug on a windshield. Instead, he vanished. Or did he? He's got his grandfather's Barry's power. Did he use them? Does it without even really knowing it. To vibrate through the wall, looks like, which begs a more of an important question. How the heck did he do that? Instead, that was amazing. Pure instinct propelled you through that wall. Call him Martian the Manhunter and say he has intangibility. Like, that's how he just phases through object. even phasing through the freaking floor. Oh yeah, by the way, it states in the lore, quicker than thought, Impulse can vibrate through solid objects without harm. There's this thing known as temporary power-ups in DC. Bart Allen is one of those people that gained some Skyfather tier levels of power during the events of Final Crisis. They battled the Skyfather tier or higher level being known as Superboy Prime, who was dang near unstoppable and was soloing everybody. Keep in mind that this is the same Superboy Prime that was just killing alternate reality Superman. Not exaggerating. They all have similar powers to the normal Superman. He just bodying them. I'll also have a video analyzing Superboy Prime for those that want to know why this feat is impressive, what I'm about to show you in 5, 4, 3, 2. Evidently, the whole Speed Force is contained inside of Bart. They states here, the Speed Force has been radically altered. They actually tried to trap Superboy Prime into the Speed Force, and she stated what exactly happened. They stated all that massive, unpredictable power is now embedded in your system, concentrated in you alone. In other words, Bart, you are the Speed Force, all of it, locked up in me. But Grandpa Barry, Max Wally, they all vanished into the Speed Force. They're a part of it. They're all a part of you now. It's like a fusion of all the doggone Flashes. No wonder I'm having all these nightmares. Keep in mind that this is a temporary thing, but at this exact moment, he probably surpassed Wally West's top speed, Barry Allen's top speed, because they're all kind of fused with him, right? So that's why he's such on another level, way higher than he usually is, right? He's such on a new level of power. Thanks to this, it's stated by Wally himself, you're fast, Bart, faster than all of us put together. You got to love temporary power-ups when they're needed, as long as they're not overpowered too long, you know what I mean? Being overpowered in big events is fine, personally. Man, Superboy Prime was kind of a problem. This is the part where they had to drag him all the way into the Speed Force, you know what I mean? Superman tier beings like Black Adam's punches tickle Prime. This is like one of the biggest powerhouses in DC, period. Bart was able to cause severe pain to Superboy Prime, a being at Skyfather tier or higher, which is insanity because this same Superboy Prime is the same guy that fought a whole Green Lantern Corps worth of Lantern. Beings there in the black hole, star-shattering ranges easily. Way past solar system shattering level, he's fighting a mob of them. By himself, yet Bart was able to fight him and give him some injury. You're probably thinking, why the heck was Bart so powered up, man? There's no way he'd be able to take him on one-on-one otherwise. Well, remember what the Speed Force is, right? Remember that the Speed Force is a multiversal energy cosmic force that gives all the speedsters in the multiverse their energy, and he supposedly absorbed, quote unquote, all of it. Like, here's the multiverse right here, right? And, you know, this is the best way they can describe it because it's technically still infinite, you know, infinite space in the multiverse, but there's something that's even bigger, the Speed Force wall, which is even outside of all of that. That's why Bart was so powered up. I mean, heck, you could take probably 1% of this, he would probably still be above Superboy Prime, if we're being honest. I mean, Superboy Prime is ridiculous, but an entire speedster's worth of energy reserve, you know, in the multiverse, you know what I'm saying? Kind of ridiculous. The Speed Force is just ridiculous, guys. But he's not always at these levels of power, so that should be indeed noted. In the Rebirth era, Bart is also included in this Dark Knight's Death Metal event. It was Bart's idea to lead the Flash family and their loved ones to seek refuge in the Speed Force, which is why everybody is safe in another dimension. Probably one of the safest havens, right? Good thinking, Bart. You the real MVP for all of this. Bart has the ability to have electrokinesis. He can, you know, blast off electricity from his body. Stuff like that. Electrical current. Stuff like that. Impulse doesn't have that many battle feats, but, you know, this is back at his normal power levels, not that Superboy Prime stuff or the absorbing the Speed Force stuff. This is Rebirth era. In the Rebirth era, he's still causing a ruckus. You know, the speedster known as Godspeed. What if I told you that Bart fought a little bit with this being known as Godspeed, Kit, Blitz with the multiple hits? You know what I mean? It shows that he got some skills. He says, missed me. They even stay here. Godspeed, you are not ready for that speedster. Enter the Speed Force now. I know this guy didn't just make Godspeed retreat, did he? Hey, respect Impulse. He's fast enough to even keep up with Kryptonian level flight speed, obviously, right? I mean, let's be honest, he's faster than Kryptonians, right? Reverse Flash is currently inhabiting Barry Allen's body. Bart Allen is so fast, he's able to knock him around quite a bit. Like, you look at this little panel. I love this panel. Look at the little tornado. Made him bleed. Epic stuff. Loved his art style, by the way. So satisfying. The more I get into Flash stuff, the more I'm starting to realize that pretty much you cannot retcon a Flash character because of their connection with the Speed Force, really, because the connection of the Speed Force was always there. It was always there back during pre-crisis days. Speed Force didn't get retconned ever. So that's why you see them having these memories that other people don't have. In turn, it can kind of scale the other characters in their universe to their pre-retcon selves because it still can match these beings that have the skills and memories of their pre-retcon selves. You know what I mean? Like Bart being the same from his post-crisis self. I mean, he has the same knowledge of all that stuff. so he should be able to do that same stuff. And if people in the Rebirth era can still fight these speedsters that can do that stuff, wouldn't that mean like Superman from Rebirth is still equivalent to his post-crisis self? You know what I mean? You see how stuff like that goes? It states here, the world isn't like the one I left behind. I mean, it's the same, but it's weird. Something's missing. This new costume you're wearing is super cool and all, but it isn't the Wally I know. I'm really worried. Whenever I was worried, I knew I could talk to you. We were both trapped in the Speed Force for a long time. It was scary, but I knew you were trapped in there with me somewhere. I could feel you there. And it let me know that everything was okay. There was hope for us. But then you just left and I was all alone. That's why I just bring up all their feats, even if it's Rebirth and stuff, because that's just how the stuff is. They're connected to a multiversal energy source that doesn't get retconned. You know what I mean? Does that make sense? I hope so. Impulse is so fast he can travel through time, you know, cosmic treadmill stuff. No, seriously, he legit be time traveling. He don't even know how old he is. This is a cool image right here because it kind of just shows his whole history. Speed, blitzing, folk like Mirror Master. I have other Flash videos that kind of complement this one. They kind of all have a lot of similarities, but some might be faster than others, like Wally being the #1, but you get the idea, right? In theory, other speedsters could kind of do what Impulse did with the absorbing the Speed Force to gain like ridiculous power, but I think that was like a special story situation that they don't want to spam, right? But respect Impulse regardless. He should be way faster than the speed of light, like thousands and millions or trillions or quadrillions or quintillions or even sextillions of times the speed of light. You know, they do have that little weird explanation of if they go to speed of light, they get trapped in the Speed Force, but then other times they can go far beyond the speed of light without getting trapped in the Speed Force. It's just kind of weird. I want DC to kind of expand on that and explain why sometimes they can go faster than the speed of light and they don't get trapped in the Speed Force, and then sometimes they go faster than the speed of light and then they get trapped in the Speed Force. It's just kind of weird. I mean, it seems like every Green Lantern in history will get trapped in the Speed Force because they have tons of speed feats way past light speed, and Flashes are supposed to be faster than them in their base, right? You know what I mean? It's just kind of weird. Like, you know, of the different times Wally West has went light speed, supposedly, and he states that it's like really dangerous to do it, even though they should have feats way past that. But you know what I mean? It's just weird. Not to mention Speed Force users in the past have stated, I can leave photons standing still. That's like light speed, and they make those look frozen, so they're leagues above light speed. It can't be getting trapped in the Speed Force every single time, right? That's why I think it's kind of like a pun, light speed being like a pun. Like, they don't literally mean that's their max, and then you go into the Speed Force forever. I think they can go past the speed of light and not get stuck in the Speed Force. Let's be honest. I mean, Green Lanterns can go quadrillions of times the speed of light flying through the universe. And this is one of those occasions where the writers clearly didn't really calculate how fast something was going. They stated he was a hair short of light speed, but that feat would literally be impossible for him to pull this off if he was just going at a hair's light speed. To be able to evacuate this many people is just ridiculous amount of speed, and it adds up with other people in the universe that's fast, but not necessarily speed people either. Like, for example, having more raw speed than characters like Wonder Woman. It just adds up. It's just people that don't really want to think outside the box. They'll try to say their limit is light speed or they're going to the Speed Force. You know what I mean? It's kind of like a ridiculous low ball compared to their whole entire universe of speed feats. But post your comments down below. Let me know what you all think. But before that, just to give you an idea of how fast these speedsters are, never forget, I love bringing up this feat of people that are not speedsters like Darkseid and Highfather. They can fly from Earth to the edge of the universe in like literally in a matter of moments. I love using this particular example because this is a good way to gauge speed in DC. If characters that are not even freaking speed really focused can do stuff like this with their raw speed, one could say a Speed Force user, whatever they can do, I can do better when it comes to speed. You know what I mean? It literally shows them flying. They didn't teleport. Moving at unthinkable speed to an unimaginable destination. Did you know Impulse was this fast? You probably did. He's a speedster, and you gotta respect him. He made freaking Godspeed retreat, man. You gotta respect anybody that makes a character like this retreat, but that's none of my business. Check out those playlists so you can binge watch more stuff like this. I hope I see you on the channel more. I will see you guys later.